All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of Whole Nother Level. This is your man, Eric Wilson. I am joined by a pioneer in the world of college sports. One word, if I say this, you're going to know who I'm talking about. If I simply say the word awesome, you know who I'm talking about. We have the great Dick Vitale joining us. Dick, thank you so much for stopping in today.
Well, no problem, Eric. Looking forward to it. I've known you for several years. I know you're a quality guy, and I know you really do well in the area. So, again, I'm glad you asked me and give me the opportunity to share some time with you.
Yeah, and I know you're a busy man, so I'm going to be really quick. All I want to talk about today is a couple of things. First and foremost, your gala is coming up. 12th year that you have been doing this, the Dickie V Foundation Gala at the Ritz. And, I mean, just before we came on, you were talking, you got people flying in, last-minute changes. What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's the most dearest thing to my heart right now. I'm obsessed with raising money for kids battling cancer. I can't think of anything worse for a mom and dad to have to face, to watch their child do chemotherapy and radiation, and it breaks my heart. So I have dedicated myself to raise the money. We started, as you mentioned, 12 years ago, and it's grown each year. My goal this year is very high. I'm set the standard that's unbelievable. I mean, last year we raised $2.8 million. It was a great event. We honored Robert Roberts and Urban Meyer, great coach from out of Ohio State. This year we're honoring the likes of Chris Berman, a legend at ESPN. We're also doing Bob Huggins, who should be in the Hall of Fame, from out of West Virginia. And we're also honoring Brian Kelly, coach of football, Notre Dame. And we expect a major night. We are already sold out. 870 people sold out to capacity. We have a waiting list if people want to get on that, because you do have cancellations, as you mentioned. So if they want to get on a waiting list, just call 941-350-0580. But they still can be part of my team. You can be part of my team if you simply want to make a donation and help us raise that $3 million. Just go to DickVitale.online.com. You'll see a picture of me up there with my buddy John Saunders, who just breaks my heart when I mention his name, thinking about how he lost his life this past year. John was as good a guy as you could ever meet. He had a heart of gold, and we're going to give out 3 grants in the name of John for $600,000 to help kids who are battling cancer, because John emceed my gala almost every year, and he loved the kids that we had there.
Yeah, last year you had blessed me and my wife with the opportunity and the honor to go. And honestly, if you've never experienced the Dickie V Gala at the Ritz-Carlton, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it and getting choked up. It is an eye-opening experience. And I actually met John last year, shook his hand, talked to him. I mean, this man was the picture of health. The fact that a great man, and I'm sure you'll agree, just gone way too soon for his time. But what he was able to do, a pioneer not only at ESPN, but just for African-American journalists and reporters, this man epitomized class.
Absolutely. You can't describe it any better, Eric. He was a classy guy, great family. His family, Wanda and his daughters, are going to be with us. His brother, I don't know a lot of people realize this, but his brother Bernie was one of the first African-Americans to play in the NHL hockey.
Wow.
And Bernie will be with us as well. And we're going to do a tribute to John and issue those grants in his name for 3 different kinds of cancer. But John was I can remember the last time I was with John, we sat at my house the night after the gala. It was about 1:45 in the morning, sitting on the couch, laughing, telling stories with his daughters, his wife. He was the last one to leave. We had a post-gala party at my house, and he was the last one to leave. We hugged. Man, when I got the call, I can remember the moment. I was in my driveway pulling out, and the vice president of ESPN called up, Josh Krolowitz, and he said to me, Dick, I got some bad news. I said, bad news? He said, John Saunders just passed away. I was floored. He got up about 3 o'clock in the morning, collapsed in his bathroom, and his wife went in there, and he was already gone.
Wow. That's just, again, having met him and spoke to him, just this man, I aspired and still do aspire to be like him in every facet, both professionally and personally. So I mean, I know it touches you on a deeper level, but just as me looking up to this man, I wish I could have had those opportunities with you to really talk to him and kind of get some insight from him. But I want to switch gears and just ask you a couple other questions before we let you go. Again, thank you so much for joining us.
No
here.
problem. You know, you mentioned John. We also lost at ESPN to cancer a year ago. Another guy that was just good as a guy as you can meet and love. I used to love hugging him and talk to him. Stuart Scott. So,
yeah.
You know,
Yes.
Stuart and John. These are beautiful people. It tells me one thing, Eric. Life is so short. You got to make sure that every day, we don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
We don't know that. In today's society, with all the hatred, the violence, the things that go on in our world. But when you have good people like that, you just hate the thought of them not being here because they always reached out. See, I think the key in life, Eric, is extending a hand to people. I will never forget a speech I heard. It was the most touching speech ever by an African-American guy who was a general. His name was Chappie James. If you ever get a chance, Google his name. Chappie James, I was invited to a banquet years and years ago in Detroit. And I go to the banquet, I think I was coaching the Pistons at the time. I walked in and I heard his voice, and I heard him speaking, 4-star general. And he said something at the end that was so powerful that meant so much to me. He said, I learned in my life from my mother and father, you extend a hand to people, whether they be black, white, rich, poor. You extend a hand with love in your heart, and love will come your way. Man, it just gave me goosebumps listening to him. And then I followed a little bit about him, and he was such an American hero. But those are the kind of people that I try to look up to.
Right. All right, I want to ask you, because we've got, of course, the NBA playoffs are coming on. More importantly, the NBA draft. And if anybody knows about college basketball, it is the great Dick Vitale. So I got to ask you, who do you see coming out of this draft that's going to be a potential superstar in the NBA?
Well, you know, I think there's a couple of kids. I love the kid, for example, when you think about great players. They say this kid up in Washington, he didn't win, but remember the name Markelle Fultz.
Okay.
Big-time scorer. He can flat-out score, 6'4", has great ability. Kentucky's going to have a couple of kids drafted really, really high. The kid Monk in their point guard, he is unbelievable. Fox is just terrific. And then there's Lonzo Ball. Everybody likes his ability, but his father has become a nightmare.
Yeah.
His father has created an incredible – it bothers me so much because I talked to Steve Alford, and the kid is a good kid.
Right.
But I think he's going to feel the pain of what his father's inflicted. When he comes out with statements that, you know, I could beat Michael Jordan right now. I want $1 billion. I'm not talking to Nike or to any show. Give me $1 billion, $100 million I'll take for 10 straight years for my son. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Well, if you saw this recently, they all said, no way, we're interested. And I just hope the kid doesn't get penalized because he can play. So, again, he'll be a major factor. And then there's always sleepers out there. But there'll be a great influence in the draft of young people. You know, the draft has become now, Eric, a draft of potential versus kids ready to play. Kids leave after 1 year, 18, 19 years old. Many of them aren't ready.
Yeah, I agree. And
so, but hey, but mention the playoffs. You know what? I put it up on Twitter the other day, and I'll say it here as well. Let's eliminate all the preliminaries. All this, and we got to go through all these different series, all these battles, and just get to round 3. Round 3 be the Cavaliers and the Warriors, because that's where it's going to head.
And that's what everybody wants to see. They want to see that rematch.
Yeah, it's going to happen. There's no question. And you know what? Everybody's telling me how great Golden Staters, and they are, with Kevin Durant, Curry, Thompson, Green. They got so much talent. But never, ever underestimate the guy in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Because the king knows how to win. And LeBron James is a winner.
Listen, what he was able to do last year, coming back from that 3-1 deficit and rising his team to victory, so many people are looking at it and saying, can he do it again? I'm on board with you. I totally see Cleveland repeating this year. I don't see him being down 3-1. Yeah. But I see it happening.
Well, I could see that happening as well. And I'll tell you this. There's another part of the equation here. Many people have all said, you know, the best player of all time, and I think we all agree, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael has been. However, I will clarify it with this, and I never thought I'd say this in my lifetime, that before it's all said and done, when LeBron takes his uniform off for the last time, say 5-6 years from now, I think we're going to have people argue. When I grew up as a kid, we used to argue, my buddies and I, who is the greatest center fielder, Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle. I love Willie Mays. A lot of my buddies love Mickey Mantle. And I think we're going to have an argument. Right now, there's no argument. It's Jordan. However, I think when it's all said and done, people are going to sit there, and I think you can make a legitimate case, because I'll tell you one thing. LeBron's a better rebounder than Michael. LeBron is a terrific passer, better passer than Michael. The only thing Michael really had is the explosiveness over him and the great scoring ability, where Michael could score, when he wanted to score any time. But I really feel when it's all said and done that you're going to argue as to who is the greatest. And, it's a great place to be.
It is. It really is. Dick, thank you so much for joining us here today. I greatly appreciate it, your time. Listen, anybody who wants to, can you give that number again for those who want to get on the waiting list possibly?
Well, if you want to get on the waiting list for the tickets for the gala, call 941-350-0580. And if you'd like to donate, go to dickvitaleonline.com and click a picture right there of me and John Saunders. You click that picture, and all the dollars go to the V Foundation for kids battling cancer.
Awesome. This is great. Ladies and gentlemen, I had the great Dick Vitale, a wonderful, wonderful, awesome man. Thank you for spending some time with us here. Folks, this is Eric Wilson from Whole Nother Level. And until then, we'll see you next time.